do it until afterwards.
Okay. So, Brock, will you set all that up and then make sure that all councilmen are available to go, and then we'll get on the bus and we'll take a trip?
Yes, and we'll notify every associated party, the applicant and anyone else who has expressed interest within that. The public is allowed to be there. It's posted, it's just like a public meeting, and the intent is just to ensure that there is no question that everyone on this body has the exact same information.
Okay, roger that. All right, so if anybody is here for or against that number, item 8, you don't have to stay if you don't want to, but we encourage you guys to stay. We love it when the public's here and witnesses the process of city government. We'll run down to item number 2. Paula Safransky, you want to get up and let us know what we're doing?
Mayor and Council, you should have Josh Tyree as our lead auditor, and you should have a PowerPoint presentation in front of you, and then he's going to go through that and explain it to you, and you can ask him any questions after that. Okay, Josh.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Paula. I will try and talk louder. Can you guys, does this work? Can you guys hear me if I talk loud?
There you go.
All right. Can everyone hear me now?
Yes. Speaker.
Okay, so I will go through this PowerPoint. I assume everyone has a copy of it. And I will just go through it. The first couple slides are just some intro. So I'm going to flip to the third slide to just kind of go over the audit overview. So each year we do our audit to present, do a bunch of our planning and procedures to be able to present our opinions, making sure your statements are in accordance with government accounting standards, that we do our audit in accordance with government auditing standards, as well as the uniform guidance reporting, which is when you have over $750,000 in federal expenditures, which you guys do each year. So there's some federal reporting. And then you have the MD&A that's included in your financial statements that we do not actually audit, but we do review your MD&A to make sure that it's consistent with all of our auditing procedures. But those are kind of all the different pieces, and you can see the timeline which we did our audit through. On slide 4, you can kind of see all 3 major areas of our audit. The first part we go through is just to do the planning. It is to gain an understanding of the city, what went on during the year, to do internal control reviews and make sure everything is in place, to do our compliance risk analysis. We can't test 100% of everything that goes on. So in our planning area, we're trying to get an idea of what the high risk areas are and where we need to focus most of our time. Field work is when we're out there in November, pulling all the different documents, all the supporting evidence, going through all of our testing, doing everything like that. And then reporting is drafting the document at the end. On slide 5 is a list of just significant items that we identified as we go through. So all the different revenue streams, cash and investments is a big number, capital assets, the single audit, capital assets would be all your capital outlay, and then single audit compliance, mainly for the DEQ loans and the construction this year on that. As well as fraud consideration. So we don't do a fraud or a forensic audit, but we do a bunch of different procedures looking for fraud as we go through our financial audit. And it's good to report that there was no fraud or nothing identified through that. The last part is COVID-19. So this week is actually I have a team out at a client. It was the client that we had to shut down, the first client we had to shut down a year ago. So it's been a full year, and really we're looking at, from a COVID-19 perspective, making sure that the organizations and the cities that we're auditing are keeping their internal controls, keeping their diligence as they're going through things at a high level, what you guys would expect. And so we've taken extra time at each one of our audits, including the city this year, to review those controls, to review that the proper checks and balances are still in place and they're still being performed. even with everything that has gone on in the past year, and also happy to say that all of that checked off as well. So we had no findings or anything like that. At the end of the day, we issue several different reports throughout your audit, the report on the audited statements, the report, 2 more reports, one on compliance and one on internal controls in the back. All of those reports were clean opinions, or exactly what the council wants to see at the end of the audit. Slide 6 goes into some of the details of your audit. Total assets were 73 million. That was up from the prior year. And of that, fixed assets or the capital, the infrastructure makes up 78% of that. Current liabilities was about 1.2 million. Long-term liabilities were roughly 14 million at the end of the year. And you can kind of see some detail on your unrestricted or net assets for your statements. On the statement of activities, you can see that revenue increased to about 20 million during the year. The main cause of this 3.7 was a transfer of assets from the URA and an increase in property tax revenues. Those are kind of the main driving focus. Also, enterprise funds saw some small rate increases, but a lot more users as well. So also caused revenues for each of the enterprise, your water, sanitation, all those funds to go up. You can see expenses increased slightly, and your change in net position was 1.9 million in 2020. Fund statements, which are also included in your statements, those more closely align with your budgeting and your budget process. They take out all the pension related items. They take out even the fixed assets and depreciation. So the fund statements are what really line up with what you budget each year. And you had 12.4 million in revenues, 12.5 million in expenses, so pretty close to even for the year. And that includes transfers out. So your total decrease of 130,000 in fund balance for government funds last year. Here's just some slides on slide 8 here. Just shows kind of a makeup of the percentages of the major revenues. And this does help kind of guide us, although we're doing testing in each of the different areas. We're also focusing on those larger areas that make up a majority of the revenue. We also do unpredictable testing every single year. So we're going to pick smaller revenues and expenses that might not meet the threshold and change up what we're testing each year. But like property taxes, we look at property taxes every year, no matter what. And so we're trying to change up on those and look through, but you can kind of see a detail here on slide 8. On slide 9, you can see from a fund standpoint from major expenditures. This year we had a significant increase in capital outlay with some larger construction projects and stuff going on. But you can kind of see the breakout of the expenses over all the different entities. On slide 10 is we're just trying to watch the capital assets and the notes payable. These graphs are kind of funny because they're going the opposite direction towards each other. But you can see as your capital assets has grown, your notes payable or your debt has also grown. But that is because that's specifically the debt is related to DEQ and those projects. And then you can see your capital outlay, and again, on your principal and interest on long-term debt, you can see you're right at about just over 400,000, between $400,000 and $450,000 a year in principal and interest payments on your debt. That's on slide 11. If you go to slide 12, we just have a quick one here that shows government-wide working capital. So 13.8 million at the end of 2020, so an increase. That's really what's available to spend in the upcoming year on your fund statements. And so you can see at 13.8 million, still well above any of your debt requirements or anything like that. So still all in a good position. So as I keep on, whoops, hold on here, moving on. Okay, slide 13. As we do our audit, we have some communications with governance that that we need to do, if we had any disagreements with management, if we had to consult with other auditors, if we had issues or difficulties during the audit, if we had any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses, these are all things that we'd have to disclose to the council. We issue a letter that basically just states that we had none of that. We had no disagreements, we had no fraud, we had no material weaknesses or findings. You know, like as in last year, all the information was readily available, and the mayor and Paula and the rest of the staff did a great job. We do come across things from time to time as we go through all of our testing, and we bring them up and talk to them, to Paula, and different things, but nothing raised to a level where we thought it was significant or material. So everything was checked off, and the audit went smoothly. Any questions for me on the audit or the statements?
Mayor.
Councilman Brennan?
Josh, I wanted to ask or draw, if you could help draw my attention to the right slide when it talks about our amount of debt. This audit compared to the audit before, did the debt that the city incurred increase or decrease or stay level?
It increased. It increased because of, let me see if I can pull that back up. It increased because of the project, the water project, and that DEQ loan. So if it would be slide 10, would probably be the best slide to show it. You can see in 2019 it was just over 9.5 million, and then it's just shy of 10.5 million at the end of 2020. So it went up about $1 million.
And that one DEQ loan is basically almost entirely responsible for that?
I think it was entirely responsible for that. I can look that up, but I'm pretty sure. Give me 1 second.
Just kidding.
I guess overall, what we're bringing in for money is greater than what is going out in debts and I guess responsibilities. Sorry, I don't know the right terminology here. Assets.
Yeah, I mean, so your a lot of your infrastructure, because your infrastructure increased more than just the DEQ. So you are spending some of just your fund balances on your infrastructure. It's not just 100% debt. Debt is, I'm trying to look it up here as I'm talking, but
Sure.
like
The DEQ loan, that water tank comes from the enterprise fund.
There was also about 400,000 in capital leases that was acquired during the year. I think that adds to the increase for this year. And that's on page 53 on the financial statements.
What did you call those leases? Is that like our vehicles and stuff?
correct.
Equipment and vehicles.
400,000 greater this year than the previous year?
Yes.
Yeah, so actually, I'll have to take that back. Your DEQ loan only went up 135,000, and then it was your additional debt was related to the leases on the vehicles, Dodge Durangos.
Chief.
Mr.
Mayor?
Back there.
Councilman Stokes.
Does that also include the fire truck lease purchase? That
That happened in 2021.
okay?
So
okay.
you'll see it on the next audit.
Okay.
I like how he
Yeah.
raised his hand back there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman, you got anything else for Josh or Kevin?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Buddy?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for coming in. I also like to thank our good city employees for providing you all the services you need and finding out that we're being very judicious with the use of our taxpayer money, and it is a good use of taxpayer money to bring you guys in to take a close outside look at it, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul, you got anything else? Councilman?
No, thank you.
Alrighty, gentlemen, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, just close it up if you want. Yeah, yeah. Highest paid speaker holder. Thanks, Rich. We're gonna run down to, or actually, Kelsey got I guess they're off. So, run down to item number 3, swearing in of the new city library director, Shasta Hostrasher. Hostrasher.
Strasser?
So, really quick, before we swear you in, I've got the chairman and the vice chairman. You guys got anything you want to say?
Sure. So, throughout this process of finding our new library director, it was pretty much an easy pick. She does have the qualifications that's desired. During her time as the interim director, she has demonstrated the ability to work together with not only the board and council, but as well as the city and all its departments, and has a really good rapport with each one of them. So I do believe we made the right pick.
Vice chairman?
Yeah, I'll just second what James said. I got a chance to talk with Shasta, and I think she has a great vision for what she wants the library to be and how to get there. And she has full support and confidence.
Well, I want to thank the board for recommending her. I've got the privilege to work with her, so I think you guys made a phenomenal choice. She is definitely well-spoken, brings in new ideas, and definitely gets along with all the department heads, which is always a huge plus when you're doing great work for the citizens. So I want to thank you both and the rest of the Board of Trustees for doing your due diligence and definitely getting us a top-notch lady. So with that, Nina?
I'm close this door for a minute. Repeat after me. I, Shasta Hochstrasser,
I, Shasta Hochstrasser,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
all the duties of Library Director
all the duties of Library Director
for the City of Mountain Home, Idaho,
for the City of Mountain Home, Idaho,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
You're welcome.
So for us, it's
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome. Your turn around.
I don't like that one.
Got any closing comments?
It's like coming out of your head. There, I like that. That's much better. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Why did it?
So Shasta, this is your 15 minutes of talking. Let us know.
15.
All right. Let the council know.
Just honestly, I will get emotional because this is part of my dream, part of something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I started shelving when I was a senior in high school. I went to school while working at the CUNA library for 7 years, and within that time realized my passion was libraries. My passion was helping people find knowledge. Both my parents are teachers, and that's what I thought I wanted to be. And in essence, I do teach when I'm at the library. It's just an informal kind of teaching, and so I want to instill that in all of our community, that you don't have to do formal education. You can come and learn at the library at your leisure. You can come and get lost and wonderful stories. You can come and gather and learn how to knit, learn about politics, learn about your community, and that's what I want to instill into the lives of Mountain Home, Idaho. So I thank you for allowing me this opportunity, and I'm grateful that I'll complete my education this year. It's been very strenuous, but it has actually helped in this process of learning the duties of a director, so I'm grateful for that as well. Thank you.
Okay, there's 4 minutes, 11 more.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Shasta, I'm excited to have you on the team. I know you're going to do great work. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Stokes.
Shasta, congratulations, welcome. I want, would you enlighten the council on what degree you're working on right now?
It's a master's in library science. Technically, you're not considered a true librarian until you have your master's in library science. And, you know, there's something to be said about experience in library work. And with my 13 years, I still have learned a lot through my education process. And so I do realize the value in it as well as hands-on experience.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bundy?
it was a very impassioned speech. And you touched on a topic in there that's near and dear to my heart. And based on your speech, I promise that I'm going to learn how to knit.
Promise.
I do. I'm there, man.
we're gonna hold you to that. I want to
So
see
check with me.
I'd like a sweater, full.
You got it.
Bound a scarf.
And with all your wit, you'll be a nitwit.
Thank you.
Shasta, on behalf of myself, and I'm going to talk with the department heads. You are that bright shining star that we've been looking for in the library. You are what we've been missing. So I'm so proud. Your parents got to be proud of you. We're so proud to have you as part of our team, especially the senior, the city leadership executive team. What you give us is the full circle. So I'm proud of you, and you're going to do great over there. And I know that the rest of the department heads, they see that too. So we're glad to have you. So thank you. All righty. We'll run down to item number 4, recognize people in the audience. Would anybody like to get up and speak? Actually, department heads, you guys can come in now. We have some space open.
They're all running.
And the chief can go sit in one of his Durangos.
Yeah.
How much was that Durango?
400,000. I don't know.
Eight. It's a lot of speeding tickets, buddy.
Yeah.
Better get writing.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know why people ask me, but they ask me what is going on with Paul. She needs to state her name.
Oh, you gotta say your name and go. Come up here.
Yeah.
Can't sit back there no more.
I'm shy.
So say your name and
Congratulations. Thank you. I'm so excited. She'll be one of my stars in the suffragette musical. She brings harmony to the library.
she does.
Yes. But this past couple of weeks, people have been asking.
Betty, will you state your name?
Sorry, Betty Ashcraft. People have been asking me, do I know what's going on with Paul's Market? And I said, I think it's going to be the new City Hall. So you can clarify that so that I can tell people when they ask me if it's going to be a skating rink or a theater or City Hall or another supermarket.
Brock, go ahead with this one.
As the city's community development director, I have the wonderful opportunity to be involved with all types of development. I would instruct any citizen who's curious about any development that's happening to please call my office. Because if anyone knows what's going on, Rock Cherry hopefully should know what's going on.
Staff.
Staff always does. So currently the Paul's building is just repairing a minor leak. There isn't any sort of user who is anticipating to go into that building. So it's not that cool. I'm sorry to let you down.
Well, it would make a great skating rink. Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that the citizens know and know that you yourself, you can always call me, you can come in, and I'm always more than happy to tell you all of the great happenings that we have going on in Mountain Home. Because even though we don't have anything going on in the Paul buildings, we have a lot of cool up and coming things that are coming our way.
So Betty, obviously, and all the citizens probably know that Albertsons owns it.
Yes.
So we have reached out, I'm going to say
Millions.
yeah, handfuls and handfuls of times trying to get them to give us an answer, or, you know, trying to give us a thought where they want it to go, where they don't want it to go, and we'll reach out. We'll keep reaching out as many times as it takes to finally get an answer. So.
I know. I think it should have been donated to the city.
With the new
That's
roof,
my
with all the
thought.
new stuff, of course.
That's my Thank you.
Write a letter.
Thanks, Betty. Alrighty, anybody else? We'll run down to item number 5, council comments. Councilman, you got anything?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Stokes?
I reached out to Superintendent James Gilbert about our skateboard essay contest, and we have flyers now distributed through entire school district. So it's out to the kids.
Fantastic. Councilman, oh, go ahead, sorry, no, I'll go
I
last.
just had one question on item E.
We're at number 5, hang on a sec, we're at number 5, council comments, just like.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you'd already went.
No, I'll get to item E here in a second. Here, if not, I'm going to read something really quick to the council, and this is from American Legion Post 26. I forgot this last week, or 2 weeks ago. It says, R.E. Gene Palmer, Dear Mayor Sykes and the City Council, just a brief note to pass on our thanks and gratitude to Gene Palmer for assisting us in a couple of recent projects here at American Legion Post 26, Post 26. Gene responded to our calls for guidance on repairing our driveway entrance, curb gutter, sidewalk, after it was reported that vehicles were being damaged by a fault in the approach to our property. Gene helped us with a solution, coordinated a local contractor for demolition and repair, and followed up while working in this progress. While working that project, Gene also offered suggestions to improve our parking lot and helped obtain material to mitigate safety issues in the area of the property. Gene's professional courtesy was refreshing, and his willingness to take time from his busy schedule to tend to our needs was greatly appreciated. Please pass on your thanks for a job well done. Commander of Post 26, Mark Russell. So Gene, kudos to you. Good job.
Gene.
Thank you.
Great, Gene.
And the neat thing too, everybody, is it takes a team. And it's not just Gene. When you look at street projects, it's wastewater, water department that are out there with Gene and his crew. And I want to say that, you know, all the department heads do great work. So, and it's always good to get a department highlighted from citizens. So that's pretty important. So keep up the good work. The other thing I have, Councilman, is a statement. We're very excited to move forward, so I'm going to read the statement, and I'm going to leave it very broad, but I'm going to make a statement. The City of Mountain Home and the Western Elmore County Rec District met March 17th and conducted a very open-minded and respectful meeting. Both entities are very excited and ready to announce their positive joint partnership to provide the citizens the recreation facilities that they have been waiting. As of March 21st, both entities will work objectively together to provide the citizens the best service and facility possible. More information to come. I want to thank Tiffany Belt, Paul Safransky, Richard Keaty, Mike McCain, Councilman McCain, sorry, Lee Pierce, Dan Gillis, Doug Myers, and Michelle Hines for having that meeting with us and being open-minded to our crazy ideas and how we move forward. We're going to continue to push that. And I think this can be a very positive outcome for both the Rec District and the City of Mountain Home on acquiring multiple facilities. Here moving forward, well, we're going to keep it very broad until we get things finalized and finite, and bring the council and everybody else forward to this information. So thank you for everybody that attended. All righty. We'll run down to item number 6, Councilman McCain. Item E.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Tiff if she knows the city song better than Nina did.
It's
Is it the fight song?
That's what they said you were gonna say. No, I just want to say Tiff will do us a fantastic job.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bundy?
make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as printed.
Councilman Brennan?
Sorry, I just had a comment. I don't want to pull anything. Rich, would you help on H? Would you help me understand the full scope of the wastewater EDUs project?
Yeah, Mayor, Councilman Brennan. So, what they're doing is, I'll put this up for a second. So what's going on with that is, it hasn't been really updated since 2011 when they did the wastewater master plan. So instead of redoing everything, because a lot of the projects have already been done, you know, we haven't done them, so none of them have been changed yet. But our EDUs and how many we have, they're gonna look at where we are with things and kind of update, you know, being able to move forward where we are, so.
Is it the fees charged for new development for EDUs, or
No.
totally different?
Yeah, they would, that is something that they possibly will look at to see if if the $4,200 is enough to buy into an EDU, that might be something to look at for developers and stuff. So it would go into the availability fund, not the maintenance one, so yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Second. Alrighty, it's been motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Councilman McKean?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Alright, we'll run down to item number 8, discussion decision on planning and zoning recommendation to approve a conditional use permit for Crystal Rogers to open a commercial child care center to be located at 540 North 6th East with conditions. Councilman, you got anything?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bundy?
could we just list the conditions real quick so that we're all clear on them?
Brock, do you have the list of conditions by, oh, go ahead, Nina. Sorry, Brock.
The applicant, Crystal Rogers, be required to pave the areas depicted in attachment A within 1 year of the issuance of the conditional use permit. And if the applicant is unable to pave the required area or would like to propose alternatives to the required paving, they will be required to address the Planning and Zoning Commission for approval no later than March 25th, 2022.
Thanks, yeah, I just want to make sure it was that parking thing. I'm good. Thank you.
Mayor?
Councilman Brennan?
I do appreciate the recommendation for the paving to be required. As always, I'm slightly hesitant by paragraph 2, I guess it would say, and in my mind, I break it down to saying, if you're not able, you're required to do it, but if you can't, then item number 2 will fall into place. And so I guess this is probably beyond the council right now, because it says it would go back to planning and zoning, but paving is important for our parking lots inside the city. So I just want to, I guess, ultimately say that it will need to be done. I have no idea what Crystal Rogers' intent is. I have not spoken to her on this matter, but rather than just bring it down the road multiple times, it would need to get done.
Mayor,
Councilman McCain?
if that's all discussion, I make a recommendation to approve the conditional use permit for Crystal Rogers to open a commercial daycare center located at 540 North 6th East with the conditions of the parking lot being asphalted.
Second.
And so it's been motion and second. Any discussion? The only discussion, so you guys are wanting it done in 1 year no matter what? That's what you're telling?
No.
No?
Just as it says for there. If
Yeah,
it's not done within that 1 period, within that first year period, then she needs to get back to planning and zoning.
Roger that. Okay. The motion is second. I'll call for the question. Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Stokes? Aye. Okay. Run down to ordinance under the 9. Ordinance amended section 7-1A-10, increasing the hydrant meter deposit to $1,500.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bundy?
make a motion that we suspend the three reading rule and read this ordinance by title only for its one and only reading tonight.
Second.
The motion is second. Any discussion?
I just wanted to get Mr. Uriki's input on this. Like, this hasn't been discussed at all, and it's a major raise, and if you could just tell us and the citizens why.
Sure. Mayor, Council, so what this is, so when they come in to pick up a hydrant meter or a business or a company, they have to put down a deposit. So this is a deposit that they get back. So it's currently $800, but if something happens to that or we lose it, it's actually about a $1,500 item. So we're losing money if we do that. So the prices have gone up with those, because we haven't changed that for quite a while. I don't know when that ordinance was last done, but that's what it is. So this is a return. So they return the meter, they get their $1,500 back.
And that's simply a, I forgot the word I was gonna use.
Deposit.
It's a deposit. That's simply deposit. So yes,
That's the actual cost incurred for a meter nowadays.
yes.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Dinah, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance of the City of Mountain Home, Idaho, amending Title 7, Chapter 1A, Section 10 of the City Code of Mountain Home, Idaho, to provide that the city's hydrant meter deposit amount be increased to $1,500 and providing an effective date.
Councilman, you've heard this ordinance read. Do you wish it to pass? Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Alrighty, we'll run down to final comments. Now we got department heads fully in the room again. I'm gonna let Hank go first this time, since Councilman McCain beat him up so gracefully last time.
Going good. Hubble's going. They got 5 minutes up right now. They're about to sell off. CDH is obviously going crazy. Dutch Bros and Bush Outlet going up. They'll probably pick up the permits. We got the tenant improvement permit application for a grocery outlet. So everything will forward really smoothly. Craig passes commercial building inspector's test. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that. But,
No, it's great, fantastic.
yeah, like they're exciting dealing for these days. So good.
So we got another one in case he screws up.
And that was a funny story. He was trying to, I didn't mess up, but I was like, hey, today.
No, thanks, Hank.
All right, we'll start with you, Chief.
Okay, Mayor, Council, on February 8th of this year, in a joint purchase with the City Mountain Home, the Rural Fire Commissioners, we took possession of a joint purchased 2012 Fiora 100-foot tower platform truck. We took a systematic approach in terms of training with that truck. We'll continue to do due diligence as we teach more members of the department how to do it. So we've identified some instructors on the department to this point who have worked with other members of the department at this point, and they will also in turn work as instructors for the other firefighters to get everybody spun up on the operations of this great piece of equipment that we now have. It's a really nice piece of equipment. It's super stable, and we're really looking forward to putting it to work for our community. On the 26th of this month, this upcoming Friday, I know it's short, but I'd like to take that tower and I'd like to put it into service. I would like to extend an invitation to Mayor and Council, rural fire commissioners, or firefighters. There can be a way to be there and bring this tower truck into service. Give you a little tour around it, take a look at it. It should be fully ready to go, and when needed, we'll put it to work.
Chief, when was that?
Pardon me?
When was that?
3 o'clock this upcoming Friday, 26th. By way of training, we're going to be extremely busy with things going. We're working possibility of a couple acquired structures, and we've got our BLM training that's going to come up in the month of April. So I anticipate April, May, and June are going to be extremely busy training months for us. And one of the things we will do with our towers, we'll take advantage of when we run on scenes. Not every call is going to be a call that is going to require a tower, but we'll take advantage of the time and the personnel on scene to become more acquainted with it, more familiarized. It's just a repetitious type thing to be able to do it at 2 o'clock in the morning and get it done right the first time. So stabilization is a key thing. So it's just a great piece of equipment. Thank you again for that. And I sure hope you guys can make it to that.
Paula?
Mayor and Council, when we do the budget presentation, we're going to do a little bit different this year. Instead of limiting it to the department heads only having 15 minutes, we're going to come in as a cohesive group that will all be be here, and that way if you have a question for streets, but it also involves a water project, we'll be there to answer those questions for you. So we're gonna do it, I'll get that schedule out to you guys, so you have it.
Shirley?
April 1st starts the wastewater land act, so we're been getting everything ready to go with that. We replaced the entire chlorine system. We're getting ready to do groundwater samples out of 14 wells out there, and we have to do about 50 soil samples. So we're gonna be busy.
The new pump that we just stuck in, is it working as good as the older one?
Yeah. Now instead of that pump working 11 hours and the other one working 3, they both work about 4 hours a piece.
Oh, fantastic.
We're gonna cut down on the electrical.
Yeah.
It gives you.
Yeah, I watched their guys put it in, and God bless them.
You didn't want to give her help.
I was in a suit, or I would have jumped in there with them.
Yeah, right,
And I don't have my required shots.
Flushable wipes.
What's that?
It was jam-packed with flushable wipes.
Flushable? Yeah, all right.
Okay, flush is fine.
Chief?
So tomorrow, Tuesday at 5, we are retiring Sergeant Rhodes at PD, so sorry about that. Probably kill me if you're all telling everybody that right now, because he's trying to keep it kind of low key. Come on out anyway. Thursday at 4:30, we're going to promote Officer Dudley and Officer Lakeman to the rank of corporal. So look forward to that too. We still have an administrative assistant job that closes, I believe, Friday. So encourage anyone who is looking for a job to apply for that as well. And that's what we got going on this week.
Thanks. Be working on that budget, right, for those Durangos. Gene?
We are starting to disassemble the winter trucks. We've got one with the plow on it still, but it's gonna come off by the end of this week. And we've moved from kind of working on the dump closure to patching streets. So we got about a week's worth of patching in last week. We should be picking back up again and just putting as much asphalt down as we can.
Quick question, Gene. Why would we repair a street with patching when we're gonna replace the street?
Some of the holes and stuff still need to be taken care of before July.
Okay.
So it's actually a really minimal cost when we're doing anything.
Okay. Thanks. Miguel?
We're wrapping up our fertilizer. We started a couple weeks ago. It usually takes about 2-3 weeks. Ivan and the guys are out there doing the smaller areas. A lot of spring cleanup. We'll probably start mowing here this week. And the guys actually mowed a little bit last week, but soccer's here, so we'll be firing up the water out there. And this week we're hoping to get the downtown park in and the drip system and get that fired up too. Even though we got a little water, but we get the trees watered in good.
David?
I was downtown helping Miguel get his water going, so he could get the rest of the district with lines in, so we got all that stuff straight away. I got some general maintenance that we got going on, got the tank we're working on. Trying to get that up and going, and we got a quote for painting.
To match it up? And the logo?
What do you want?
Oh, these four guys' face like Mount Rushmore up there. We don't want to scare them. No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I got a quote on it if you want some other stuff on it.
Did you counsel me on anything on the water tank, the new one? City logo, nothing? City logo. City logo would be good. Absolutely. Actually, she don't count because she's leaving me now. So.
Well, they have the city logo on the other one, so we were talking, Paula and Dave and I on Friday. We were going to come to you. You were gone already, but we thought it would be
That's
cool.
working.
No, you were gone at 4:30 on
No.
Friday. It was
Working.
Anyway, we thought it might be cool to put the one town, one team with the tiger head on there or
Well,
something.
that's a good idea.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Okay.
I like Nina's thought.
All right, Niner. That'll be your last hurrah. If you can grab us something on that too, I guess. Sorry, Dave.
He said, yeah, it's just what I wanted to do.
I gave him the tiger head the other day.
Brock?
Busy as ever. In my monthly report to all of you, I try to keep you all updated. And people know that we exist. They're coming far and wide from Treasure Valley, from the Intermountain Northwest. They're coming to Mountain Home. And I just want to thank, the rest of the leadership team has been amazing during this entire process. I can tell you, I can count on every single person in this room to be there and to be part of this growth that's happening. Shout out to Chief Moore, being able to read, these structures that they're acquiring for our training, those are part of infill projects. And how cool is it that we can support infill development and get training at the same time?
Do you always talk like you write fortune cookies for a living?
Debate team.
But it is pretty fantastic. Everything's going well. Busy as ever. Just want to give a shout out to Kimberly and also Brenda and also Jamie. Without them, I can't do what I do. And they're amazing and things are going well and they're busy. And if you ever have any questions, please come down.
Thanks, Brock.
Numbers for the day, 7, 12, 22.
Yeah, right. You want to give them just a short synopsis of the potential housing numbers?
So the conservative amount, based on preliminary meetings and also based upon zoning applications that we currently have in, our conservative estimate is that in the next 3 to 5 years that we will add approximately 1,000 dwelling units to the city of Mountain Home. Those will be composed of both single family and also townhomes. We're still waiting for someone major to come in with that multifamily rental type product, but we are working on it. We have Thunderbolt Landing, which is coming to fruition, which is kind of a example of mixed residential when it comes to different sizes, different lot sizes. We're going to see a lot more of that, and it's a good thing. So I know we have a lot of realtors and a lot of builders and everyone in that industry who are just waiting for more stuff to come, and I can tell you that it's coming. CBH is actually going to start, I believe it's their third phase, Rich, of Morning View subdivision. They're anticipated to have 53 homes completed by September, and they're going to be doing the remainder of that simultaneously with Thunderbolt Landing. So last year we only processed 60 odd residential building permits. I believe we're going to double that, probably almost triple it. So things are coming, things are going our way, and us as a team, we're just trying to make sure that we're ready to process everything. Hank and I have been looking at building permit tracking software, because it's going to become more and more important that not just Hank looks at building permit, but I do, that Gene does, the wastewater, sewer, the fire chief, and it's just a way to make sure we don't miss anything while being very effective. So we are getting ready for the storm, and we're going to be ready for it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Brock. Shasta.
Library board met for a special meeting last week, and they did an approval vote on E-rate. So I am working on the paperwork. That should be completed by tomorrow. I'm looking at possible grants for solar energy panels to go on the roof, cut the cost down on our power bill. We were able to obtain both the summer STEM grant and the summer intern grant. So I have training on that in April, and we'll start the application process in May. And that is geared towards 16-year-olds to 28-year-olds as a way to introduce them to library science and what goes on in the library. We also, in addition to our virtual programming, the Boise Philharmonic has given us permission to use their virtual concerts as a program. So our first concert night will be this Thursday at 5 p.m. and people can register online for that to view it. Our physical collection numbers have gone up since we've been able to open up browsing. We see a lot more happy people inside the library because they're able to look at the books inside. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Tiff.
Mayor and Council, I would like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity. Next, spring soccer is going to kick off, so you'll see a lot of kids out and about playing soccer. We've been working diligently on our rec guide. It should go out that first week of April with a bunch of programming and community events and things like that. If you haven't been out to Ridgecrest to check out the new basketball court and the ample amount of little people that play on that, you should check it out. I mean, I've taken our son up there several times. Him and his buddies meet up there, and I can't tell you how many kids. It's like ants. We handed out 35 basketballs last Friday up there to kids. We did a drop-off, and every one of them are gone. So that was pretty exciting. This week's spring break, so we have kids, 22 kids going all over. And tomorrow they go to Hagerman to go swimming. And then Blue Shield, Regents Blue Shield gave us $10,000 to our fitness court. So
sweet.
That was pretty exciting as that came in.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's what we're doing. So.
Good job. Nina?
Mayor and Council.
She's quitting.
Exactly, quitting. No
I am retiring May 24th, and I want to thank everybody for all of the years that I've been here. I've been here 17 years. I've enjoyed every one of them, and I've enjoyed working with all of the people. I'm going to miss being here. I promised the mayor I was going to stay till his term was done, but I'm leaving 2.5 years early, and I apologize for that. But my son and his wife are having a baby, and they need me to come watch the baby. So I'm going to be home babysitting and taking Tiffany's calls every 5 minutes. I look forward to that, and I know I appreciate that you approved her appointment because I know she's going to do a great job. So.
I almost forgot Rich. Sorry, buddy.
That's okay. So yeah, Mayor, Council, as Shirley and Dave and Jean said, pretty busy in public works at this time of the year. I mean, getting the farm ready, getting the wells ready, streets, repairing everything from the wintertime, from all the street cuts. I mean, that's the big thing that we're doing. So that's good. Brock mentioned, that's what I was going to bring up was, Morning View. Morning View has 14 lots left in their second phase. So that means they've been punching them out, and I'm sure that I don't know if they've given any more, but they're probably gonna get those. I bet in the next 2 weeks, going to be getting permits for those. And so phase 3 is going to start 53 lots. So that you should see ground moving over there on that. So we had a pre-con last week on that. So that's pretty good. Those are the big things. Yeah, we're busy, which is good. Oh, I guess. What Brock said about that is why we're doing that. So appreciate the update for the EDUs. That's one reason why we're doing that, so we know where we are. I mean, I know we have 1,000. We have like 1,200 probably right now, but we need to make sure that we're using those the way we need to, and be ready to get another 1,000 or so, 1,500 more with the well, and then also with new storage. So those are the things that are going to bring the EDUs, and so we can stay ahead of the people that are coming, and so we can say that nope, you can't. We cannot give anybody more building permits. I mean, we don't want to do that right now. So
be more proactive than reactive. Like
exactly, and I mean, I've been spending a lot of time. I have spreadsheets and numbers. I'm about ready. My head's gonna explode. So just putting all the projects and where we are for the next stuff. So that's been good.
Councilman.
Sorry, just a note. You made me remember April 26th. That's when we're hoping to have tentatively ready the Thunderbolt subdivision application to come. It's going to be a big night. It's really important. If you're not going to be around that weekend or that week, please let me know as soon as possible. It's just really important everyone's there. It's going to be a large night where we're going to be processing that. And there's also a zoning title.
Councilman, got anything? Mr. Mayor? Councilman Stokes.
I had one question, and I think we had addressed it with Republic, but I would love to see the city get some new updated trash cans.
Okay.
And I think we talked to Raquel. Was it Raquel?
Michelle.
Can we reach back out to her?
Absolutely.
Cool.
With the new logo, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot all about. Yep. No, we reached out to her. She said absolutely, and then kind of out of sight, out of mind. Trash can logo. All right. Councilman Brennan.
Yeah, I was just curious if you guys could tell me, Morning View, how many phases are in their grand plan? How big is
There's
it?
4, so.
Four.
So after this one, there's another 52 lots.
Okay.
And they're done.
Okay.
So, but basically it's Corey Barton, they've purchased 120 acres right across the street, but they'll probably be working on that after they're doing Thunderbolt Landing that had that, so they're gonna be busy here in town for quite a while.
Is that 500 or 600 on the other side?
500 or 600 dwelling units.
It was
They're all-
three subdivisions,
Three
three subdivisions with probably 2 or 3 phases in each of them, so.
And they also have 4 plexes that they plan on building in that as well to help with our rental need as well.
Also, no, I just wanted to tell you, you will be dearly missed here. You are a wealth of knowledge, and I've liked working with you probably more than you've liked working with me. You will be missed.
Jeff won't be the only one calling her.
I'm excited to have Tiffany on board. She's a great option if you have to go. Say that in the nicest way, don't you? You know.
I'd just like to expand on what thing Rich said about the 1,500 EDUs that we do have and whatnot. A lot of people think that, oh, it's one EDU for anything that comes in. And that's not true. For a normal single-family house, that's one EDU. But we have several businesses in town that take 10 to 75 and up EDUs for that business, to where it doesn't take long to run through 1,500 EDUs. To where, so that's why we got to stay ahead of those. And that sewer and water is very important that we get those kept up for the wells and the next sewer lagoon.
That's exactly, Dutch Brothers was 3 EDUs, so I mean, it's a building that's smaller than this. And it
Yeah,
was 3
to where,
EDUs.
so wow, it can use them real quick.
All right, Councilman, anything else? All I have is I want to thank Representative Bundy for pushing or carrying the bill that gets the $28 million for the Air Force Base. That'll continue Mountain Home Air Force Base's readiness to fly, fight, and win. But also it gets them to one, when I go back to Washington and meet with the generals, they always ask me, you got my water project fixed? No. Do you have my schools and that issue stuff like that fixed? No. Do you have the license reciprocity? This year, with the House and Senate, hopefully, well, obviously the water's already done, so I go back to general and say, yep, the governor signed off yesterday?
Friday.
The schools, I can say, yep, we are doing that as well. And then the license of reciprocity, that should go through,
It's through the Senate, it's gone through the House committee, and it'll be on the House floor shortly.
so that's huge. Every year I go back there, and if we want to expand our mission in Mountain Home, we definitely need those. Those are the big 3. Oh, and housing. And that's the 4th. There's always 4. I always forget the 4th one. The housing one is a huge one. Our partners, Singapore partners out there, definitely need housing. Our airmen need housing. We have about 800 airmen that direction. If we can get 500 of them back, that's about what they're saying, is we have 500 that want to come back to Mountain Home. If we get them to live, work, or play here, that only helps us. I want to thank the council for allowing me, for trusting me in my choice of Tiffany. And as you guys have seen her work over at Parks, you guys know what she's capable of. To have the first award in 50 years, isn't that right? That's pretty special. And so you know what she's bringing to the table. So I want you guys to know I appreciate you trusting one of my picks, and I sincerely mean that. I think she'll do great. No.
Now,
We all joke here at City Hall. In my first year as mayor, it was pretty rough. My first year, or my first couple of weeks, I would go in my office, and this poor lady was crying every day. And I was like, I had to go finally to Paul and go, is it me? Was she mad that I won? And she's like, it's not you. Her husband had passed. And it's one of those things where God puts people with each other. And I needed her, and I think as much as she needed me. And she is a wealth of knowledge. She is one of my best friends. The girl will tell me no when I need to be told no, but she'll also try to find a way to yes, to make sure that the citizens are taken care of, or how to expedite something. And I appreciate you, like I said, council understanding and like I said, we got till May 24th to beat her up. So
still got time to pick
yeah,
on
we can
her.
pick on her all we want, but I want you to know, Nina, you will be missed, and we'll have that. We'll go down that road and we'll have conversations. I'm sure many a weeks here to come. So you're welcome. Last but not least, I want to talk to the citizens and to the department heads. I want to thank the department heads. We tallied up the money that we have acquired through grants, through Marty, $427,000 from the DOD for our schools. When you start adding up all that money, in the last 5 years, we have totaled a little more than $6 million. People ask me, Mayor, are you putting us in debt? How are you able to do all these projects? How are you able to? It's a partnership. It's a partnership with the state of Idaho. It's a partnership with the URA. It's a partnership with our department heads going out and looking for that money. And I want the citizens to know that we're always looking for this money. And I would rather spend somebody else's money than our money, right? And do our money and do good work with it. That's a lot of money. So with that, I want to tell the department heads, thank you for always doing that extra step. I want to thank Jamie. 'Cause that poor girl, we throw some stuff at her, and she always finds a way to help. I heard a statement the other day that a lot of towns die because they don't accept outside help. They're too proud. They don't want outside help. They don't want someone playing in their sandbox. The department heads, they have allowed everyone to play in their sandbox. They've worked as a team, and we've been able to do a lot of great work as a team, and I appreciate you guys. And I know, I don't come around as much as I used to because I have that confidence in you now. Not that I didn't, but, but $6 million, the community has to understand, that's a lot of money. So, thanks, everybody. Meeting adjourned.